Hey everybody. I just watched for a second time a video by Eagle Eye 1975 called #GOP Convention Predictions, and actually the first time I watched it was back in May when he made the video, only he unlisted it and only shared it with a couple people. I was one of them. And so first I just want to confirm that yes, this video was made without all of the knowledge that we now have now. Hindsight's 2020, but this is him saying these things back in May. And we've had this conversation in private messages back and forth about how Donald Trump might be a plant and that it was all just a big conspiracy to get Hillary elected, and that he was actually supposed to say the most outlandish things and it wasn't supposed to resonate with people as well as it did. You know, there's a whole mess of conspiracy theories that you can let your mind go down the rabbit hole and chase, because it is so crazy that he is the nominee for the Republican Party. There are so many people who are not celebrating him being the nominee for their party. They're actually not attending the convention, and they're treating it like a wake for their party. So, what I wanted to talk about is the last thing that I said to him before he posted his video. And that was, hey, I don't recall that you predicted that Melania Trump would create a gaffe for Trump that would be her plagiarizing Michelle Obama. No one saw that one coming, and so what I want to talk about is how that could have been worse than it was. And by that I mean the plagiarism happened, but the ball was in their court as to how it happened. Everyone was accusing her of plagiarism, but this is someone who, she's a model. Yeah, they might say that she has a questionable architecture degree and that she speaks multiple languages, but she's a model and she is a trophy wife, and she's, obviously on his arm for the money. It's blatant, and any number of things could have happened. And what eventually happened was the speechwriter for that speech came out and admitted that he had plagiarized. At first, there was some ducking. They said no, this was all her. She wrote it, but finally the speechwriter has come out and said that he plagiarized Michelle Obama. Now, I saw it going a different way because I'm a little bit more Machiavellian sometimes in my thought. Especially when I'm watching politicians, I'm ready for some dastardly deeds and some horrible trickery. So where my mind went with this, how it could have been far worse, would have been if you were to take the passages that were plagiarized from Michelle Obama and the passages that look like a Rickroll, basically quoting lines from Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up," and then the line that was taken from My Little Pony "Friendship is Magic." All of these things were inserted into this speech, but who did it? Now the narrative is that the speechwriter did it. But there is a much more heinous narrative that Trump could have used that might have gotten him more power and more leverage at the convention. And that would have been to say that the teleprompter was hacked. Hacked by political enemies. And then he could have staged, say, a hacker like someone Guccifer 2.0 inserted these lines from Michelle Obama's speech, from the Rick Astley song, from My Little Pony, and poor Melania got up on the stage and she didn't memorize her speech. She didn't have time. It was all coming up on the teleprompter, and the words looked good, so she just kept on saying them, even though they weren't exactly what she remembered, right? What this narrative could have done if they say caught the fake hacker and that fake hacker said that he was working in conjunction with Trump's political enemies, they could have brought about an atmosphere where those people who are supporting Trump might have supported him on measures that would help censor the internet even more, tougher laws and tougher restrictions on the internet, and that would have been bad for everyone except Trump, who would have looked like the victim instead of the laughingstock, instead of the plagiarizer. So, yeah, we're all lucky that the narrative that they went with was it was just the speechwriter who plagiarized and put that before her eyes on the teleprompter, because it could have been a lot worse. And if Trump were a little bit more Machiavellian than he is, he might have gone that route. Laters.